Hi guys, this is a tutorial for the beginning of my Just BT, for the beginning of the yoke, that is, because there's a lot going on in that part of the pattern, and some of you guys are especially having trouble with the honeycomb pattern, so I want to try to help you out a bit there. But I will say pay close attention to what it says in the pattern, especially to begin with, because it's action packed, to be sure. But let's see if we can break it down some here. I've made this like miniature sample that's supposed to be the neckline, and I've put in my markers. So I have the beginning of the round here, and I have my 4 Raglan markers that mark the shoulders. So I have shoulders here, and I have the back of my blouse here, and the front here. So, and on each side of the marker, 2 of these stitches are the Raglan stitches, right? Which will form this crossed line here. Let's try to get started. So let's see. The first round here is very tight. You can see you've just come off, and I should say I have some kids at home, so there might be some noise in the background. Yeah, so first round here is a setup round, and there's no increases and no crossings in the Raglan. But we're going to set up the honeycomb pattern. So first you're gonna knit to the shoulder stitches, and it's tight. So, but it's only the first round. So you just have to get through this initial so we're knitting over the Raglan stitches, 2 on each side of the marker, and here we are on our shoulder stitches, and I only have 6 shoulder stitches for this little sample, but it's the same principle. And what you do to set up your stitches is you yarn over and you slip a stitch purlwise, like so. This is one. And then you purl 1, purl, and repeat, yarn over, slip a stitch purlwise, and you purl 1. So that's 4 stitches for me done here. 1, 2, 3, 4. These here counts as 1, the yarn over and the slip stitch. So I've purled 1, and now I do a yarn over and I purl my last stitch. And then I knit all the way across the Raglan stitches, across the front stitches to the next sleeve, where I repeat this. So here I am at the next shoulder stitches. I'm just knitting the 4 Raglan stitches that are on each side of the stitch marker, and here we are again. So this is also a setup round. So yarn over, slip 1 purlwise, purl 1, yarn over, slip 1 purlwise, purl, yarn over, slip 1 purlwise, and purl. And then we're back to the Raglan stitches, which I'm just going to knit. And I'm gonna actually knit right back to the beginning of the round, sorry. So let's just skip that. So here we are, 1 row completed, the setup row. I'm at the beginning of my round, and now we're going to start on the first short row round. And something that's also happening in this round is we're going to begin the crosses, crossing the raglan stitches. And because we're starting up our short rows, the honeycomb pattern will be knit flat, because we're going back and forth. We're turning the work and knitting back and forth. But I will show you. So first of all, we're going to knit up to the raglan stitches, just like so. And no matter what size you're knitting, this will be the same for all sizes. So here we are, the raglan stitches, and the first one we have to knit as a left cross, which is always from the back. So insert the right needle, hold with your thumb and slide it off, and then you grab that and see if you've already crossed them, and you put it back like so. I also have a tutorial showing you how to do that, so I won't go into that much detail, but you knit them, and that's a first cross. So before the stitch marker, it's always a left cross where you go in from behind. After the stitch marker, it's always a right cross, and you go in from the front, like so. You slip them off and you grab it, and you have a cross that's leaning to the right. And you then knit them. And this can also be a bit tight the first time you do it. All right, so here we are at the shoulder stitches, where we have our honeycomb pattern. And for this round, we have to knit one, slip the yarn over, and knit one, and then repeat. So let's just have a look. Here's our yarn over. It's lying in front, and we have the knit stitch behind. So we have to find that and knit it first of all, like so. And then you slip the yarn over, and then you knit the stitch that's sitting alone, and then you repeat. So find the hiding knit stitch, knit it, slip the yarn over, knit, find the hiding knit stitch, slip the yarn over, and knit one. That's it. And so we've come to the raglan stitches again, as always, you need to start with the left cross, which is on the back, like so. And you knit it. And move the marker, and a right stitch, right cross, sorry. So, and now I am going to knit across. No, I'm not, because we have to turn. So I've done my two raglan stitches, and I knit two, and I turn my work around. So I knit two, like that, so, and I turn my work around. And now that's actually the first short row. So now we're on the second short row, sorry. I'm going to make a double stitch, like so. So you have two legs on the stitch here, and I'm going to purl all the way back to the shoulder stitches. So you purl back Also, you purl the raglan stitches with the marker. And purl this 1 and 2, like so. Now we're on the shoulder stitches, and because we're now knitting honeycomb in the flat, what you have to do is yarn over, slip a stitch, and then you have to knit this yarn over and this stitch together. So you, like before, you yarn over and slip a stitch purlwise, and then these two have to be knit together, like so. And you yarn over and slip a stitch, and you knit these two together. And yarn over and slip a stitch. So I'm purling all the way back. So here we are on the other shoulder. I am purling across the raglan stitches, which we crossed in the previous round, like so. And here we are on the shoulder stitches, and I'm going to do the exact same thing as I did on the other shoulder. So I'm going to yarn over, slip 1, and knit these two together. The previous yarn over and the knit stitch, we knit them together. This is the single knit stitch. Yarn over, slip it, knit these two together. Yarn over and slip it, knit together. And then we're back to the raglan stitches, which I am going to purl. So, and then I'm going to purl 2 stitches and turn my work around. So this is the 3rd short row, the beginning of the 3rd short row. And in this round, we're going to add increases on the stitches of the back and the front, so that only these 2 areas will grow in stitch count. I'll show you how. But first we have to make a double stitch. And I am going to knit back to my raglan stitches, which is only 1 stitch. And here we have to make a left cross and do a increase. So we'll start with the crossing of the stitches, like so. And then we have to do an increase. So we lift up this, we knit it, and we knit the 2 stitches, so, and move this. And this is just a right cross. There's no increases made on the shoulder stitches in this part of the pattern. So we're back to the shoulder stitches, and here we have to knit 2 and slip the yarn over. So I knit 1 and I locate my next knit stitch, which is hiding under the yarn over, and I knit it. So we knit 2 and we slip the yarn over, and we repeat this. So knit 1, 2, and slip the yarn over. Knit 1, 2, and slip the yarn over. And then we're back with the raglan stitches, and we're going to do a left cross, Move the stitch marker and a right cross, and then a left leaning increase. So the cross, and then you knit these two, and then you do the increase on this side, which is this one. And you knit it through the back leg, like so. Then I'm going to knit across to my next shoulder stitches and raglan stitches. Here we go. I've knit across the back stitches, and I'm now at the other shoulder and the raglan stitches, and we'll begin with a left cross and a right leaning increase. And then a right cross with no increase because it's towards the shoulder stitches, which we don't want to grow and count at this point. So here again we are going to knit two and move the yarn over. So 1, 2, move the yarn over. 1, 2, move the yarn over. 1, 2, move the yarn over. And we're back at the raglan stitches, and these are left cross, and move this one, and right cross, and a left leaning increase, and now I'm going to knit up to my double stitch, and I'm going to this is it, and I'm going to knit this, and I'm going to now knit 2 stitches and turn my work around. And this is short row 4, which we will begin with making a double stitch like so. And purl away back to the shoulder stitches. So we're purling, 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 purling. So. And you just purl the raglan stitches on the wrong side of your work here. And now we're at the shoulder stitches. And here we will knit the yarn over and the knit stitch, the stitch here together, and do a yarn over and slip the next one. So first knit these two together, do a yarn over and slip, knit together, slip. So you could say on every other row you knit together and slip a stitch here when you knit in the flat, and on the front you knit the knit stitches and slip the yarn over. And finally I'm going to purl these. But when we're done with the short row and we can start knitting in the round, the pattern for the honeycomb will change slightly. So we'll get to that. And I'm just going to purl my way all the way across the back stitches to the next shoulder. We don't need to see that. So back to the raglan stitches here. Purling these guys. And here we are at the shoulder stitches. And again, we are going to knit the yarn over and the stitch together. And yarn over and slip this. Knit this together, these two. Yarn over, slip stitch. And knit these two together. And then finally a yarn over. So maybe if you like, you can mark your raglan stitches with another 2 stitch markers if you find that it's confusing, that it's sort of part of the shoulder stitches. I haven't done it because I think it's, yeah, you have to move a lot of stitch markers. But definitely do it if you feel like you need it, especially in the beginning, so you don't accidentally knit the raglan stitches into the shoulder stitches. So here I need to purl my 2 raglan stitches, and then I'm going to purl my way to my double stitch, which is here, and I'm going to purl this. And then purl another 2 and turn my work around. So here we are. I've just turned my work around, and this is the 5th short row. And I'll be starting by making a double stitch, like so. And I'm going to knit back to the raglan stitches. And we have an increase to make here. We'll start with the cross. Move the stitch marker, make a right cross. So here we are on the shoulder stitches, and we'll be knit 1, slip the yarn over and knit 1. So we locate the knit stitch, knit it, like so, and we slip the yarn over, knit the knit stitch, knit the knit stitch, slip the yarn over, knit, knit. So you'll be noting that it's actually the same you're doing on the right side all the time. It just differs which stitch you start with, whether it's knit 2, slip 1, or it's knit 1, slip 1, knit 1. That's the only difference. Where are we at? We need to knit 1, sorry. Like so. And let's just count here. So we have, these are the raglan stitches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're back at the raglan stitches, and I'm going to make a left cross, so slip the stitch marker, make a right cross, and an increase, and now I'm going to knit across the back stitches to my next shoulder, or to the raglan stitches. We're back at the raglan stitches, and I'm going to make a left cross, but a right leaning increase. And here, a right cross. And here as well, we have to knit one, move the yarn over, knit one, and repeat this. So we locate our knit stitch here, move the yarn over, knit a stitch, and repeat. Knit one, move yarn over, knit one, repeat. Knit one, move yarn over, knit one. And we can see how the honeycomb pattern is slowly coming together. And here we have a left cross, move the stitch marker, make a right cross, and an increase. Then I knit to my double stitch. We're now on the front side of our blouse, and this is my double stitch, and I knit it, and I knit two further, and I turn my work around, and so we're on the 6th short row. And of course, you always start by making a double stitch, like so. You purl your way all the way back to the shoulder stitches. Here we are, and here we're going to slip the yarn over, slip stitch, and knit the two together. So yarn over, slip stitch, knit these two guys together, or girls. Yarn over, slip stitch, knit together. Yarn over, slip stitch, and knit together. And we're back at the raglan stitches, which we purl. And now I'm going to purl all across the stitches of the back over to my other sleeve. So I'm back. I've reached the other shoulder. Just need to do the raglan stitches. Like so. And here we yarn over, as we did on the other one, slip a stitch, and knit these two together. Yarn over, slip a stitch, and knit these two together. knit these two together like so, and we purl the raglan stitches. Yeah, welcome here. Okay. So I've done the other shoulder and the raglan stitches. Now I'm going to purl my way over to my double stitch. And this is on the front side, the front stitches. I'm going to purl it and then purl 2 and turn around. So you turn your work around, and that was short row number 6, and you would now be on short row number 7, or as it says in the pattern, you will now be repeating rows 3, 4, 5, and 6, which we have done. So that's 4 more short rows of knitting. But I can't do that because my sample is too small, so I would be a mess here. So I'm just going to show you how to do the last short row when you've completed the 4 extra. And of course you're on the right side now, and you start by making a double stitch, which is the last stitch. This is my dog making some noise with his tail. And you start by making a double stitch, and you knit back to your raglan stitches, and start by making a left cross and then a right leaning increase. And a right cross on this side and no increase per usual, because this is the shoulder stitches and we don't want them to grow just yet. And here on the last short row, you should knit 2 and slip the yarn over. So 1, 2, slip the yarn over, 1, 2, slip the yarn over, and you should be able to, especially since you've done 4 more rows than me, to see the honeycomb pattern. We're on the raglan stitches, and we're doing a left cross first, and knitting it, and a right cross and an increase to the left, a left leaning. So, and now I am going to knit my way across the back stitches over to the raglan stitches over here by the other shoulder. So here we are on the other side. I'm going to start by making a left cross, like so. Oh, sorry, I need an increase as well. and a right cross. And here we are on the shoulder stitches, and again we're going to knit 2 and slip the yarn over. So. Knit 2, slip the yarn over, knit 2, slip the yarn over, and the raglan stitches, make a right, left cross, and a right cross with a left leaning increase. So, and now we're going to knit up to a double stitch. Knit it, and we knit past it. We're not going to turn around this time. Now we're going to begin knitting in the round. So knit across the stitches of your front piece and you will meet another double stitch. Mine are very close because this is such a small sample, but when you meet yours you just knit it as well. This is the double stitch from the other side, right? And you knit up to the raglan stitches, which you actually also knit because we only do crosses every other round. So this round, and we've already crossed these, so we need to just knit them now. Move the stitch marker, knit the raglan stitches, and now we're on the shoulder stitches, and this time we need to knit them a bit differently because Vilma, vil du være lidt mere stille? Tak. Because now we're knitting in the round, but the only thing that so what we'll be doing is a yarn over, as we've did previously, slip stitch, and then we have the 2 stitches that lie together, and previously we knit them together. Now that we're on this side knitting this round, we need to purl them together. So, and then a yarn over, slip stitch, purl these 2 stitches together, yarn over, slip stitch, purl these 2 stitches together, and then we're back at the raglan stitches. I'm going to make a left, oh sorry, I'm going to knit them because like this, and now we need to go another half round just so we're knitting the same thing on each shoulder. So we're going to knit past our beginning of the round stitch marker all the way over to the other shoulder here. freeze the Raglan markers, and you knit these as well. Move the marker, knit these as well, because we crossed them in the last round. And we reached the other shoulder stitches, and we will be doing a yarn over, slip one, purl these two together, yarn over, slip one, purl these two together, yarn over, slip one, purl together. And the Raglan stitches, you just knit. And then you need to knit your way to the center of the front stitches. So I think I need to knit 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is, and you then move your beginning of the round marker to here. This is the new beginning of the round. You can see the honeycomb on the sleeves and the crosses on each side of the sleeve. And now you have your front stitches here and the back stitches here. And you see there's more, you've knitted more fabric here, and that will make it sit higher in the neck, which would make it fit nicer. And from here, you then only knit in the round now, and you follow the pattern. I hope this makes sense.